My name is Elena, and I work as a doctor in a small clinic. I see many people every day, all with different problems and pains. But one man made me feel very confused. He came to my clinic 3 times in 3 weeks. Each time, he said he had a new problem. The first visit, he said he had a cough. The second time, he said his back hurt. The third time, he told me he had chest pain. I did all the tests I could. Every time, his tests were normal. No fever, no sickness signs. When I asked him questions, he answered with just a few words. Sometimes a little, sometimes not really. I tried to understand, but it was hard. He did not ask for medicine or talk about his fears. He just came back again and again. At first, I thought maybe he was very sick, but hiding it. But he did not look sick. He did not seem scared or in pain. His visits felt strange. I started to feel nervous before he arrived. I remember his quiet voice after he left. I did not know what to think. Was he trying to tell me something? Or was this just another patient? Then he came again, saying he had a headache. I prepared his file and asked the usual questions. But inside, I felt something was not normal. I asked when the pain started. He said, yesterday. I asked if he ate something different. He said, no, he had no other symptoms. The visits felt the same, but the reasons changed. I began to think maybe he was lonely. Maybe he was anxious or afraid but did not want to say. I wanted to ask, but I was afraid I might be wrong. Maybe he just felt safe here. But something inside told me it was different. It felt personal, but I did not understand how. One day, I talked to the nurse about him. She said, maybe he just likes you. I was surprised. I told her that could not be true. But then I thought, what if she is right? What if he comes here for me? Not for medicine. I did not know what to do. I tried to stay professional, but every time I saw his name, I felt something strange inside me. Not fear, not anger, just questions without answers. Another week passed. He said he had stomach pain. I asked more questions, but he gave short answers like before. I tested him again. Everything was normal. He was not really sick, but he kept coming. I did not talk to anyone else about it. I tried to forget, but his visits stayed in my mind. I helped many patients, but none stayed in my thoughts like him. One day, he did not come to the clinic. I felt strange. I checked the schedule every day, but his name was not there. I told myself maybe he was better now, but deep inside, I felt like something was missing. When he came back, he said he felt okay. I asked why he was here if he was fine. He looked at me and said, I don't know. We sat in silence for a moment. Then he said, I didn't come to talk about health. My heart beat fast. I asked, what did you come to talk about? He said, you. I froze. This was not part of my job. This was not in my training. He said he liked me and wanted to be honest. I did not know what to say. He told me I did not have to answer. Then he said goodbye and left. After he left, I looked at his file again. 5 visits in 5 weeks. Different problems, but no sickness. I did not know if he would come back. I did not know how to feel. I told myself to be professional, but my heart said something else. Something new was happening, but I did not know what. This man, who came with a lie, left my heart full of questions. Was this just a moment or something more? I waited to see his name again. I checked the schedule every day, but no call, no visit. Then, one day, the receptionist told me he was here. No appointment. My heart jumped. I told her to send him in. He looked nervous. He said sorry for last time. I told him he did not need to say sorry. He said he did not want to make me feel uncomfortable. We did not talk much. Then he asked me if I would like to have coffee with him. Just coffee, not at the clinic. Just two people. The room felt quiet. I thought of rules, ethics, and the right thing to do, but I also thought of honesty. I said yes, but not now. Maybe soon. He smiled and thanked me. He left, and I felt something different. He came with the truth this time. Now, I was ready to see what would happen next. After that first invitation to coffee, I felt something new inside me, a feeling I had not expected. It was not fear or worry, but hope. I started to think about him differently. He was no longer just a patient with strange symptoms. He was someone who wanted to know me, someone who wanted to be honest. I was curious too, but I kept it inside. I was still a doctor, and I had to be careful. 2 days later, I received a message from him. It said, "Hi, Elena. I know you're busy. Just tell me when you are free." His message was simple, but it made my heart beat faster. I thought about when I could meet him, and I finally wrote back. "Next Saturday. Find. 00p. He replied quickly, "Perfect. Thank you." That Saturday, I finished work early and went to the cafe where we agreed to meet. He was already there, sitting at a small table near the window. When I saw him, my nervousness grew, but he smiled warmly, and it helped me relax. We started talking about small things, where we were from, what we liked to do. The conversation felt easy, like talking to an old friend. After some time, he said something I did not expect. He told me that this was not the first time he had seen me. 6 months ago, he saw me in a hospital. It was a short moment, and I did not see him, but he saw me. He listened to me help another patient, and something stayed with him. He said he didn't know my name, but he wanted to find me. He asked around, searched, and finally found my clinic. I was surprised. He had come all this way just to meet me. It felt strange, but also sweet. He said he wanted to know if I was real. For a moment, I didn't know what to say. I thought about all the visits, the fake symptoms, the silence, and the moment he told me the truth. Now, I understood everything differently. He told me more about himself, and I shared some things too. We talked about dreams, fears, and hopes. The connection between us grew stronger. I started to believe this was real, something true and special. I felt warm inside, a feeling I had not known for a long time. Our meetings became a regular thing. Every Saturday, we met at the same cafe, same time. Each meeting felt special. We talked about small things, favorite books, movies, food, but we also talked about big dreams. I learned he was kind and thoughtful, and I found myself looking forward to our talks. One day, he told me he needed to travel for work. He said it would only be for a few weeks and promised he would come back soon. I was happy for him, but also scared. I did not want to lose this new connection. Before he left, we met one last time at the cafe. We laughed and shared stories. He told me, "Don't forget me." I smiled and said, "How can I forget you?" It was a simple moment, but it meant a lot to me. Then he left. Weeks passed, and I did not hear from him. I told myself he was busy. But after another week, and then another, I started to worry. I sent messages, but he did not answer. I checked the news, flights, and everything I could think of. but it was like he disappeared. A month passed, then 2, then a year. He never came back. I sat alone in the same cafe, at the same table. I remembered everything the first visit, the strange symptoms, his truth, the coffee, the smiles, and the hope. Some people asked me what happened to him. I said, he had to leave. They asked if he would come back. I said, maybe, but inside, I knew the answer. He was gone. Even though our time was short, I do not regret anything. He showed me something real, something brave, something beautiful. It didn't last forever, but it was true. I learned that love is not always perfect. It doesn't always stay forever. Sometimes love comes for a short time, but it stays in your heart forever. I never expected love like this. I didn't plan for it, but it came, and it changed me. Even now, when I think about him, I feel something warm and hopeful. Sometimes, people we meet just for a moment teach us lessons that last a lifetime. I learned to be open, honest, and brave. And I learned that real love is not about how long it stays. It is about how true it is. As I think back, I realize how strange those early days were. A man coming to my clinic again and again with different pains, but nothing real to find. I was confused and worried. At first, I believed he was just sick, but hiding something. Maybe he was afraid or lonely. I wanted to help him, but I didn't know how. His answers were always short, a little, sometimes, or not really. It felt like he was hiding behind silence. I asked more questions, but he said less. It was like a puzzle with missing pieces. I wondered if he needed help, but didn't know how to ask. One day, after many visits, he surprised me. He said, "I like you, not for my help as a doctor, but for me, it was not normal, and it wasn't part of my job." My heart raced, and I felt frozen. I didn't know what to say or how to act, but I saw honesty in his eyes, and that touched me. Before that moment, I thought of him only as a patient, someone to treat and then say goodbye. But now, I saw him as a person who cared about me. That feeling was new and confusing. I wanted to be professional, but my heart said something else. He said, "You don't have to say anything." Then he stood up and left. I sat there, looking at his empty chair. I didn't know if he would come back or if I should want him to. I wondered if I had made a mistake or if I had missed something important. After he left, I felt a strange mix of feelings: fear, hope, curiosity, and something like happiness. I started to think about him differently. I wanted to understand why he came back so many times with no real sickness. Now I thought maybe he came because he was lonely or searching for something. Maybe for me, days passed, and he didn't come. I missed his visits. I felt empty without his quiet presence. I wanted to talk to someone about it, but I was afraid they would not understand. This was not something I could explain with medical words. This was personal, deep inside my heart. When he came again and asked me to have coffee, I said yes, but only not now. I needed time to think, time to understand my feelings, time to be brave. That first coffee meeting was nervous but wonderful. We talked like old friends, sharing small stories and dreams. He told me about how he saw me months before in another hospital and how he found me again. I realized he had been thinking about me for a long time. Just as I was thinking about him, the truth between us grew slowly but surely. It was honest and warm. I felt safe to be myself. We met every week and shared our thoughts. I learned about his life, and he learned about mine. Our connection became something special, but then life changed. He had to leave for work in a far city. Before going, we promised to meet again. We laughed and talked. But I felt sadness too. I didn't want to lose what we had found. After he left, I waited for his messages and calls. But days passed without a word. I sent messages, hoping he was okay, but he did not answer. I tried to stay strong, but worry filled my mind. I searched for answers in news and flights, but found nothing. It was like he disappeared from my life and the world, even though he was gone. I kept the memories alive, the visits, the coffee, the smiles, and the hope. I told myself that love can be short and still true, that sometimes people come into our lives just for a moment, but they change us forever. I learned that love is not about perfect endings. It is about the courage to be honest, the strength to open your heart, the hope to believe in something good. Even now, I think about him and feel a warm glow inside. That strange man who came to my clinic with no real sickness, but left a real mark on my heart. He taught me to see love in unexpected places, to listen not just with my ears, but with my heart, and to be brave enough to follow where love leads. Even when the path is unclear, I don't know what happened to him or why he left, but I am grateful for what we shared. It was real. And that is enough. The weeks after he left for his trip were quiet, but my thoughts were loud. I kept thinking about him, the man who had come to my clinic with many different pains but no real illness. Now I knew he had come for something else. For me, that feeling was strange and new. I did not know what to do with it. Each Saturday, I went to the cafe alone, sitting at the same table where we had met. The chair felt empty without him. Sometimes I would look at my phone, hoping for a message, a sign that he was thinking of me too. But nothing came. I told myself to be strong and busy with work, but my heart missed him. Then, one day, the receptionist called me. She said, "Someone is here to see you. No appointment." My heart jumped. I asked, "Who?" She said, "His name." I did not answer right away. I was nervous. Then I said, "Send him in." When he walked into the clinic, I saw nervousness on his face. He said, "I'm sorry for last time." I smiled and shook my head. "You don't need to say sorry." We both were quiet for a long moment. Then he said, "I didn't come today because I'm sick." I nodded. I knew that already. He took a deep breath and said, "I came because I need to ask something." I waited. He looked at me and asked, "Would you like to have coffee with me?" Just coffee. Not at the clinic. Just two people. Like before, the room felt very quiet. Everything around me disappeared. I thought about the rules, about my job, and what people might think. But I also thought about the truth inside my heart. I said yes, not now, but soon. He smiled and said, "That's enough for me." Then he thanked me and left. This time, it felt different. He did not come with a fake problem or hiding. He came with honesty. I felt hope. 2 days later, I received a message from him. It said, "Hi, Elena. I know you are busy. Just tell me when you are free." My heart smiled as I read it. I answered, "Next Saturday, 5:00 p.m." He wrote back, "Perfect. Thank you." That Saturday came quickly. I finished my work early and went to the cafe. He was already there, sitting at the same table. When I saw him, my nervousness returned, but he smiled, and I felt calm again. We talked about simple things where we came from, what we liked. The conversation was easy and warm. Then he shared something I did not know. He told me this was not the first time he saw me. 6 months ago, he saw me in a hospital. I was working only one day there. He said he didn't know my name but saw me helping another patient. That moment stayed with him. He searched for me, found my clinic, and started to come again and again. I was surprised and touched. He had been thinking of me for a long time. Just as I had been thinking of him, suddenly, the strange visits, the silence, and the small talks all made sense. Our bond grew stronger. We talked every week about small things and big dreams. I learned he was kind and honest. I felt safe to share parts of my life I never told anyone else. Our time together was special. It felt like something real, something true. One day, he told me he had to travel for work. It was for a few weeks, far away. Before he left, we met at the cafe one last time. We laughed and talked. He said, "Don't forget me." I smiled and said, "How can I forget you?" Then he left. Weeks passed, and no messages came. I waited and hoped, but silence was all I had. I sent messages, but he did not answer. I worried and searched for answers, but nothing made sense. It was like he disappeared. Even though he was gone, I kept our memories safe. The visits, the talks, the smiles, the hope. I told myself love can be short and still true, that sometimes people come into our lives for a moment, but leave a mark forever. I learned that love is not about time or perfect endings. It is about being honest and brave, about opening your heart and believing in something good. Now, when I think of him, I feel warm inside. The man who came with no real sickness, but left something real in my heart. He showed me that love can be found in unexpected places, and that sometimes the smallest moments teach the biggest lessons. It has been a long time since he left, but I still think about him. The man who came to my clinic with many different problems, but no sickness. The man who came back again and again, not for medicine, but for something deeper. For me, sometimes. I wonder why he never came back after his trip. I don't have the answers. I searched and waited, but he disappeared. Maybe he had to leave for reasons I don't know. Maybe life took him somewhere else. Or maybe he needed to be far away to find his own way. Even though I never saw him again, I don't regret anything. He showed me something important. He showed me that love is not always about how long it lasts. Sometimes love is short. Sometimes it ends without a clear reason or warning. But that doesn't make it less real or less important. Love is not about big things or grand gestures. It is about honesty, courage, and being true to your feelings. It is about moments that change your heart and teach you who you really are. I learned that everyone has value and meaning in life. You don't need to do big things to be important. Sometimes just being yourself, being brave enough to show your true feelings, is enough. This story is a reminder to be open and honest with yourself and others, to listen with your heart, not just your ears, to believe in something good. Even when the future is unclear, thank you for listening to my story. I hope it gives you hope and courage. Please remember, your feelings matter, and your story matters. If you liked this story, please like and subscribe to BTM English Story. There are many more stories to come, and I would love to share them with you. Remember, real love is not about how long it stays, but how true it is.